Now, in my last solo stream that I did on Hypnocast, one of the things I talked about was the fact that Target tried to make it seem like they were just the arbiters of such amazing people simply because they donated to Republicans at some point in time 200 some odd dollars, and they donated to Democrats 170 some odd dollars. Whatever the numbers were, I don't remember. I just know one was over two, one was in the 100 something middle thousand number. But the thing is, you really got to pay attention to the organizations that they donate to, not just political parties, because the political parties are not really important. What's important is the organizations they're donating to. This same Target that's trying to be praised for donating over $200,000 to Republicans is the same one that donated $2.1 million to a company like Glisten that focuses on indoctrinating young kids into gender ideology and doing gender affirming mutilations to those same kids. Now, with that being said, we have an article here from Fox News that says Target backs an organization that pushes for U.S. demilitarization, Mount Rushmore shut down for being a symbol of white supremacy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another organization that Target has decided to back with their money because these corporations have certain ideologies that they absolutely want to push. And not only that, they are also funded by corporations like BlackRock that want to focus on increasing ESG and CI compliance to that particular company, because once they do, they can then grant them money and whatnot based on their scores. So how far Target's willing to go is all based on their corporate equality index scores. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push me out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 24,000 subscribers. It says an organization funded by Target maintains views hostile to the US military and seeks America to demilitarize itself. Of course, man. These people want America to get rid of their guns. They are so desperate for it to happen. You can see it all the time. You see all the propaganda against anti-2A. It is just completely out there for everybody to consume. And the funny thing is, it's such BS. All the propaganda that they put out there, it never truly works like that, but they want to convince normies that it does, and they want to put fear in you to take away your guns. They want you to disarm yourself, because when you are disarmed, you are easier to control. But let's get into this article, see what it has to say. Since the George Floyd protests and riots of 2020, Target Corporation said it ramped up its diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. This agenda extended far beyond enhancing representation in support of historically marginalized groups externally and in its stores, and dipped into funding organizations with far left and blatantly political agendas. Target's accelerated DEI program in response to Black Lives Matter activism under the leadership of its diversity chief, Kiera Fernandez, which, by the way, if you guys missed my videos on Kiera, please go check them out, because it's very obvious that she is a complete hater of white people. She has such a chip on her shoulder that she is demanding all white women to essentially kneel before her and speak for her, because apparently she's not heard the same as other white women. It's very, very strange. The chief demanded that white women get to work and combat the proclaimed systematic racism in America. Fox News Digital found that Target, via its nonprofit foundation, which has been directed by the retail giant's senior corporate treasurers, funded a grantee pushing to shut down and give away U.S. sovereign land such as Mount Rushmore, believing it to be an international symbol of white supremacy, and to demilitarize the violent U.S. military. Violent U.S. military, ladies and gentlemen. We're violent. We are a violent U.S. military. The funny thing is, when shit hits the fan, and it eventually will, because it always does, history has taught us that it all comes to an end at some point. Shit will hit the fan, and people will try to take down the United States of America. When that happens, the only thing that's going to defend us is that violent military that you comfortable people say you hate so much. That's the amazing thing. Because that military is so-called violent, that allows you to be on Twitter on your $1,000 iPhone while you're drinking a Starbucks in your pajamas, because God knows you don't do a fucking thing in your life. You can sit there and complain about how the military is so utterly violent. That is what it allows you to do. That is a freedom afforded to you by said violent military. It says the same grantee also supports the destruction of Israel's Jewish character throughout what is called Palestinian law of return, and implementing economic warfare tactics against the Jewish state, such as boycotts and sanctions to free Palestine. Another Target Foundation grantee said parents must teach specifically white children about systematic racism and to see color. It also claimed that capitalism maintained a role in perpetuating racism. That is amazing to me. That is amazing to me because you want to teach white kids about systematic racism. Please tell me what systems are in place that are holding the black man down. You got to name them specifically, because if you're going to use words such as systemic racism, then tell me what systems are in place that are specifically holding down black people. What laws are in place that are saying black people cannot do this, that, and the third? Please explain to me what exists. Otherwise, you are full of shit. Don't give me what you think exists. Don't give me what you think happens. No, tell me the actual systems in place. Otherwise, you need to start referring to it as what I think is systematically in place, not what is actually systematically in place. And you're also trying to teach kids to see color? Isn't the whole thing to not see color? Isn't that the whole thing, to not be racist, to not see color, to not care about the color of someone's skin, to only care about what they actually produce for this world and society as a whole? Why do you want kids to now see color? Because you want the racism narrative to continue. You want to encourage people to actually grow up to be racist, because that validates your entire argument. And the more people you can convince to be racist, the more you feel validated. It says the Target's Foundation's website reflected that it funded the NDN Collective in 2022, a South Dakota-based nonprofit with a revenue stream that has reached as high as $50 million according to its 2021 tax filing. NDN operates with a racial equity lens, which is never a thing, and is dedicated to building indigenous power through organizing, activism, philanthropy, wow, I murdered that word, grant making, and narrative change. NDN identifies as intersectional, which is just a very big red flag, obviously, which is an idea coined by a critical race theorist, Kimberly Crenshaw, holding that America is inborn with structurally racist and misogynistic systems. What systems, people? Please, Kimberly, tell me what systems are in place that are so structurally racist and misogynistic. What systems are in place, people? You can never say what they are because they don't exist. They are only what you want to exist. They exist in your mind, and you're trying to project them onto regular people, and people are not buying your bullshit. This is why they aim for kids, because kids will buy their bullshit and grow up to be future victims. That's essentially what they want. And they can intersect upon an individual to form numerous layers of persecution by joining forces with other oppressed groups. NDN hopes to move towards liberation, whatever the hell that means. The organization's campaign Land Back calls for America to give up its public land. The closure of Mount Rushmore, return of that land and all public lands in the Black Hills, South Dakota is our cornerstone battle, NDN said. Not only does Mount Rushmore sit in the heart of the sacred Black Hills, but it is an international symbol of white supremacy and colonization. To truly dismantle white supremacy and systems of oppression, we have to go back to the roots, which for us is putting indigenous lands back in indigenous hands. Oh my God. Stop it. Stop it. Every country has been founded on some form of colonization at some point in time. Every country has been conquered at some point in time by somebody, which created future countries and civilizations afterwards. Like, you guys want to pretend as if it's only white people that have done this. Meanwhile, this has been a system that's been in place since human beings have been around. Human beings conquer other human beings. The strong conquer the weak. This is just something that's always been the case, and it's never going to change. You are trying to fight what is inherently in humans at the end of the day. Not just white people. It's inherently in humans at the end of the day. And we do live in a very comfortable civilization, obviously, which is very apparent by the fact that people can complain online and feel like that they are meaning something. But at the end of the day, this is what is inherent to human beings. And if civilization were to end right now and all of this good old technology were to go away, what's going to happen? People are going to go right back to their primal roots, and the strong will conquer the weak. It's just what it is. Land Back also supports Israel giving up its Jewish character by opening the floodgates to those who identify as Palestinian refugees. After Israel gave up to the Gaza Strip for peace in 2005, under pressure from the Bush administration, the former Israeli territory became what some analysts call a missile launch pad that is operated controlled by the Hamas terror group. On that note, Land Back also uses a phrase which has long been interpreted by some as a genocide call for the elimination of the Jewish state. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Target is donating to, people. These are what these corporations are donating to. Target donates not only to a group like this, but they also donate to Glisten, a group that is notoriously aiming and targeting your kids. They want to indoctrinate kids. They want to provide gender-affirming mutilations to kids. That is what these corporations are donating to. And the fact that Target donated $2+ million to that company tells you everything you need to know about what Target truly represents. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.